Kristjaan, the summer transfer window closed on Friday. Now the dust has settled. How do you reflect on the window?
I'm not sure the dust has settled, but we're really pleased with the window. I think to be able to add the type of quality we've added into the sort of starting lineup, what would be the bench, just in terms of quality, and then obviously the depth in all those positions, I think for us is a really positive outcome. Going into the first batch of games, obviously we also couldn't be more delighted. Obviously the team's performance, and obviously really pleased with Regis, to come as a new coach, to embrace everything at Sunderland and get off to such a positive start.
Simon Moore was first through the door. Ahmed was last in, just in time. Two very different profiles that neatly sum up the balance that we had in our approach to recruitment this summer.
Yeah, when you say that, I think Simon was the previous transfer window. It seems that long ago, but we've always spoke about trying to get balance. We have to do that within our structure. We have to be committed to obviously the things that we think are important and how we build a club and how we build a team and a squad. But ultimately, to try to find that right balance in the squad, that right balance in the starting line was really important. And I think if you see across the signings we made in the summer, we think we've been, put us in a really positive space.
Is one of the things that Sunderland fans can be excited about the fact that some of these players haven't really featured yet? We've all seen the way Alan Brown has come in and impacted the team, but you look at Salas, you look at Jan, Wilson, players with great experience and proven ability, and they've barely kicked a ball yet.
Yeah, definitely. I think that just highlights how competitive the group is at the minute, and we want to try to ensure that we provide opportunity to some of our younger players, but at the same time it's got to be based on them performing. It's got to be based on them being able to train at the right level for a consistency with discipline, and ultimately to have a competitive squad where the football club needs to be to challenge at the top end of the table. You've made a reference there to several players that we think can have huge impact for this football club, and at the minute haven't featured. I think that shows hopefully where we're at.
And of course, not the only players to come in. Ahmed joined and Milan joined as well on deadline day. Two really exciting players that we'll need to be patient with, but keeps us with one eye on the future.
Yeah, I think you have to be respectful to the fact that to move into any new culture, new country, you're going to take some time to adapt. Ahmed's just joined us the last couple of days. Milan's obviously away international duty, which is obviously fantastic for him. Ahmed was a transfer that we looked at for a significant period of time. We just felt that there was a good opportunity towards the end of the window. And Milan's slightly different. Milan's been a project we've been working on for a number of months, and that just again naturally comes to a conclusion towards the back end of the window. But really pleased to secure both those players. Really talented young players.
We always want to improve. A big part of that process is the retention of talent. Some really exciting players retained this year, others extending their contracts as well. A testament to not only what we've built, but our ambition for the future.
Yeah, I think lots made of transfer windows in terms of signing players. Signing players is arguably the easier part. The harder part is retaining players. And we've probably had 6, 7, 8 players that have been under the watchful eye of other clubs where offers have been made, inquiries have been made, and we've managed to stand firm on those because I think we've shown before we're trying to build something. We're not trying to take something apart. But like I said, there is a process to that. We will lose players as we go through that process. But as long as we keep growing and keep becoming stronger, that's the main part. And we've always felt we've done that. Two
notable departures this summer. Let's start with Elliot Embleton, a player who came through the academy and lived the dream.
Yeah, no, he really did. And I think we're really pleased for him that he's got a move to go and play regular football. That's what he needs at this moment after a really difficult 12 months. I think he's a real role model for young boys in this region, to come into the academy, get through to the first team, and then, I think he said himself that, he couldn't have ever imagined going to Wembley and scoring, such a good goal, such a significant goal for the football club. And obviously he goes with our best wishes. He's a really top class kid.
And Jack departed as well for Ipswich Town, a player that we'll miss watching, a player that we'll miss working with.
Yeah, it's significant. A player who's done so well for us. I think he would also feel that we've done well for him. It's a really good collaboration over the last couple of seasons. I've always said that you'll get moments where the players' progression will require the next step, and unfortunately we're not able to provide that in the minute. He wants to play in the Premier League, and probably rightly so after 2 really good seasons in the Championship. We've probably stood in his way last summer when there was a number of offers on the table, and he committed and played again last season at a really, really high level. There's always a moment where you have to make a difficult choice. It's always difficult for us inside the football club to make that choice, and obviously difficult for supporters because you get an emotional attachment to these players when they do so well, and you'd like that to continue forever. But also, we do operate within a performance industry, a business, and sometimes players move on, and we felt it was the right moment for that.
Loan moves have also been agreed for several players. What's the primary objective for those moves?
Well, there's a different objective for every player. If you look at some of our younger players like Matty Young, to go and play and experience senior professional football week in, week out, I think is a really, really interesting move for him. And then all the way through to some of the players who need more game time, more development time, more opportunity to play at the right level, at the right challenge point. And then all the way through to maybe someone like a Nectar, who's going back to a club he's been at before, but with a completely different challenge to go and try to be a player who can lead a team, be a significant part of a team winning, which puts him in a great position coming back. The idea with all the loans is try to move them forward. It's part of the progression, part of the development journey, and it's a really, really important part of what we do, because we can't provide the right level and the right experience for every single player, and we have to use some external teams to do that, and they'll all be closely monitored.
Only 4 months left until the January transfer window. In addition to preparing for that, what's the focus on behind the scenes now for the next 4 months?
I think my answer to that's always going to be pretty boring. We're about consistency. I think one of the big things that top organisations can do is you have a discipline to perform at a high level all the time. Regis spoke about that with the team. As players, we have to be able to live that as staff off the pitch. We have a developing and emerging and a growing team, at the AOL, which I think is a significant improvement, and we continue to improve. But it's the simple things around hard work, diligence in our detail, diligence in our decisions, and a focus on keep improving.